Let's stay with that story and bring in marine scientist Dr Vanessa Pirotta. Dr Pirotta, great to have you back on News Breakfast again. What are the options for attempting to rescue those whales that do still remain alive?
Well, it is definitely a wise choice to look for the animals that are still alive, because the reality is some of those would have likely passed overnight. So it's those animals that have a hope of being rescued, and they're the ones that are looking pretty good, they're still breathing, they're alive, and they would be a likely candidate for release. And we saw this 2 years ago, yesterday at least, to the day, where this similar stranding happened in the similar location as well as the same species, where over 400 stranded, and in that case at least 100 individuals were able to successfully be taken out to sea. So they're going to use the tools and the tricks that they learnt from that event definitely to take into today's event as well, which we'll no doubt hear more about very shortly.
Yeah, so let's just go back to that one that you mentioned just there 2 years ago. What is going on with this particular piece of coastline? Why is it so dangerous, we now know, for pilot whales?
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because this is actually the second stranding in Tasmania this week. Earlier there was 14 sperm whales, which is a different species of whale, and unfortunately they've stranded as well. But yet, what is going on? We don't actually know. So it could be the West Coast is called a bit of a hotspot for strandings because of the way in which the topography of the underwater environment simply goes deep to shallow, or it might be a bit of a navigational hazard. Or this could just be a coincidence. There are so many different variables on play here that we need to consider. But the key thing is, the animals that unfortunately have passed will no doubt contribute to science. So there is a little bit of a happy component to this. But let's hope that authorities, and they have been doing an amazing job, really do have some success at refloating and releasing some back out to sea.
How long can pilot whales live out of the water?
Well, they're air breathing like you and I. We're breathing air right now. They need to actively think about it. So it might vary, and it's all based on the environmental conditions. So it could be within hours, days even. But the reality is that their body, they're heavy animals. They can be over 800 kilos. They're crushing their organs right now as we speak. They can be overheating because they're so efficient at warming their bodies in the marine environment. So the clock ticks straight away when an animal comes ashore. And unfortunately, animals can be refloated but can restrand again.
It's very sad. Okay, Dr Vanessa Pirotta, thank you very much for sharing your expertise.
Thank you.